dann.
Brecht's opportunity to put his ideas about drama into practice came when he returned from exile to war-ravaged Berlin, where he settled in the Soviet sector.
They decided to stay there because they had been offered something which couldn't be offered by any city or any government in Western Germany at all. They gave him a theater. They gave him a theater and what French call plein pouvoir. He could do whatever he wanted, and the money was there. So later on, the Western journalists always asked Brecht, why didn't you come to a Western theater? And said, yeah, how could I? I could have been director of in Frankfurt or Hamburg or wherever, or Burgtheater in Vienna. But I would have been the director of the ordinary theater of state or a city, and the theater of repertoire. I had to do things I hate, I detest, and sometimes I could slip in one of my own works. But here with my own theater, I can do whatever I want, and I can neglect whatever I want to be neglected.
Now Brecht and Weigel began to put together a new theater company, run along their own lines, a theater company with which Brecht could stage his own plays in his own way. To do this, they put newcomers on the stage, committed socialists who appreciated what Brecht had in mind. And Brecht's style of directing was consciously democratic.
Brecht always discussed. When one of the actors said during the rehearsal, well, Brecht, I think it can't be done. And Brecht said, stop, don't continue ideological talk, let's try it. Try to display what you have in mind. And then he could say, well, Mr. So-and-so, that's good, we shall maintain it, collaborator, please put it down, we have to do it like that from now on. Or one of his young assistants whispering a suggestion to the master during the rehearsal. Brecht stopped to the stage. He didn't say Mr. He said, or with only the name, Monk suggests that we should do. He always did so. He wanted to have a collective responsibility.
Not everyone found Brecht easy to work with. During the last years of his life, the Berliner Ensemble won widespread critical acclaim. But Brecht's dialectical theater and his method of working did not meet with universal understanding or approval.
Brecht made a clear distinction between the people he had to deal with for one reason or another and the people he liked to work with. And with this category was extremely nice, helpful, friendly, and very social. Then, when he was really in conflict with Ulbricht or some of the Stalinists we had there in the government and sometimes even in the cultural administration, then he maintained the attitude, well, gentlemen, I am a genius. Please don't forget that.
Brecht maintained allegiance to the East German government during the 1953 workers' revolts in Berlin. But his was a critical solidarity. It was coupled with demands that the political leadership correct its mistakes. And it was fully in keeping with his concept of literature as a dialectical enterprise.
The Secretary General of the Writers' League was a very poor and miserable man, Kuba, awful writer, a poet he called himself, writing poetry of the party line and hating Brecht and detesting of course, the revolt and the working class. And Cuba, as a Secretary General, wrote a poem and said declared, well, the people of the German Democratic Republic have very much disappointed the government. The behavior of the people has not been what had to be expected by the government. And Brecht answered by a poem saying, quoting Cuba and saying, well, in this case, the best and wisest thing would be to dissolve the people and elect a new people for the government.
Brecht.